Sit down. Sit down. No barking. No barking. We fixing to make a video, okay? No barking. No barking. We're trying to make a video. Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Today is a video we're going to do about Remember When, 1973. Your birthday, March 22nd. That would be me. Today is my birthday. Turned a big 51. So I want to read y'all some of these little things that happened and went on in 1973. I don't remember where I picked up all these little books at, but I know this one here, 1973, Remember When, was, I bought it in 2013. On my way to a trip to see my son when he was in college. And then Your Birthday, March the 22nd. I'm not sure when I got this one. Has a lot of really interesting information in it. Things that happened in 1973. But first I think I'm going to do the Remember When. The timelines. They had some ads in here for the Jergens Extra Dry Skin Formula. That was when it came out. It also gives you some world news from 1973. I will read a few of them, but not all of them because it's a lot. National news. This was interesting. The CAT scan is introduced. It produces three-dimensional images of internal organs of the body, which is kind of funny because, you know, I've had lots of CAT scans and MRIs done since I hurt my neck and my back, but that actually was national news in 1973. Boy, have they come a long way since then. And this was, you all remember those curlers that you plugged into the wall. It says the all day, all night curl, introducing how kindness gives you longer lasting curls from your hair setter. So this was whenever the electric curlers came out, where you plug them in and you sit there for hours and stick the little pin through it so you could have that curly fancy hair. All the new stuff that was happening and coming out. Interesting facts. President of the United States was Richard Nixon then, and the Vice President of the United States was Gerald Ford. The life expectancy in 1973 was 71.4 years. And unfortunately, there was a big push for Levi's for women. It shows, of course, the same thing we see today. Some woman walking by with her dog and some man about to trip over his tongue looking at her, which y'all know I'm totally against wearing pants. I have occasionally worn pants, and I have off and on throughout my life, but I want to be modest and do what glorifies the Lord, and you don't want to draw attention to those areas of your life that is meant to be private. So, yoga pants, shorts, no, not for this girl. It says Levi's for me, the Levi's that fit the woman. And then it goes into all of the sizes, and so that was kind of whenever women started being a little more rebellious and started wearing pants. And this is one that's been around forever. Winter hits hard inside because you are locked in germs and odors. The spray that does it all. Which one is that? Lysol. And they're spraying all of their old-timey looking furniture, sinks, toilets, all the blues and purples, the kind of pea green countertops and bathtubs and all that from the 70s. But it's still around. It still works good today. Lord knows that formula has changed a lot in 51 years, I'm sure. This is a good one. The cost of living in 1973. A brand new house, you know, what was considered probably top of the line during that time, was $32,500. Average income was $12,965 per year. Very interesting. New car was just under $4,000 for just an average, what they call a family car, a sedan. Average rent, this is really mind blower, $175 per month. Wow, you can't even hardly get into something under $1,500 to $1,600 a month around here. Tuition for Harvard University. Now, I can tell you, I know how much this one has definitely changed because, as I said earlier in the video, put my son through college. $3,000 per year. Well, I can tell you, it was about 4 times that, and he was only there for about a year and a half for the college that he went to. So, yes, definitely expensive now. Movie ticket, $175. Can you imagine paying $175? I have not been to the movies in probably 10 years, so I couldn't tell you how much it is to compare it to, but I think it's past $10 a person. This is really funny too. Gasoline. Gasoline was extremely cheap back in the day, and I remember grandparents and older people saying they used to enjoy just going for a ride because it was entertaining. They could stop and get them a drink, get them some snacks, and it was very cheap. And it was inexpensive, and I guess so, on 40 cents a gallon. Imagine that. We could ride around all over, and we could go visit all of our YouTube family and friends. If we only had to pay 40 cents a gallon for gas, I would be on my way. You better believe it. 40 cents a gallon. Wow. The first class postage stamp. This was really kind of gripes my behind anyway, because a postage stamp is still a postage stamp. It's still the same thing it's always been. And we know it's very expensive now. It was 8 cents in '73. And as we know, every year everything just kept going up and up and up and up. Here's some prices on our food. So I guess this is how this relates into homesteading in this video. Try to keep it kind of homesteading minded, but you know, you do what you can do. Granulated sugar. 65 cents for 5 pounds. Amazing. Vitamin D milk, $1.30 per gallon. Ground coffee. Wow, what would the preppers do if they could get a hold to coffee for $1 a pound? Oh my goodness, my husband would probably have to put in another storage shed just for coffee. If he could get it for $1 a pound, he would definitely be prepping coffee. Bacon, 85 cents per pound. Wow, I don't think you can get a half a piece of bacon for 85 cents. Eggs, 45 cents a dozen. Now, I think we get about $3 to $5 for the 18-pack duck eggs, and about that for the chicken eggs. Chicken eggs is usually cheaper. We do the 18-pack. If it were a dozen, it would be $2, and then with the half dozen, we do 3. And the duck eggs are usually, I don't know, I guess, I don't really put a price on it. I just tell people, just give me whatever you think it's worth for you. So I probably cheat myself, but that's okay. I'm such a giving person. I would just rather give them to someone than worry about trying to figure out what I think they're worth. Just who I am. I'll give you some eggs if you need some eggs. But 45 cents a dozen, that's really cheap. Fresh ground hamburger, which I guess was fresh ground beef, 66 cents a pound. That's very cheap too. Very, very cheap. And fresh baked bread, not a loaf of bread that you buy at Walmart or wherever, some fresh baked bread like from the bakery and the deli like they used to do, was, and it wasn't imported anywhere or frozen and sent to the store. The women actually made the bread and baked the bread, and it was fresh baked bread. It was only 28 cents a loaf. Very interesting, y'all. And of course, Maybelline, the makeup industry, boom, boom, boom. Everybody decided they want to get pretty and not be just a housewife no more. They want to keep up with the Joneses. This one was cute. This one was a little ad when it says, when they want to eat between meals, give them what they deserve. Give them vitamins, give them minerals, give them iron, give them natural fruit, sugar. Give them straight from the sun. Give them sun-made raisins in the little red box. And it shows a whole bunch of cute little kids on here excited about getting their little box of raisins. Such a great, great healthy snack. And they have a thing that says what the movies were. I know some of them I don't know. Some of them I don't think is important enough to even mention, so I won't mention. But this was another ad for the Gulf, the oil company, and it also was trying to sell oil filters, and it also gave prices of these cars. One of the cars was a Plymouth Fury, the third. It was only $3,835. An AMC was $2,983. A Chevrolet Caprice was $4,209. And I know we had one of these when I was a kid. A Ford LTD. It was $3,950. And then the most expensive one was the Cadillac sedan DeVille. $6,500. My goodness. If we had those prices for today, wow. But I remember most of those cars. I think we pretty much had probably pretty much all of them at one point or time that I can remember. Maybe not the Cadillac, but we had a lot of cool cars. My dad liked GTOs, so we definitely had a GTO. And he could kick himself in the behind, he said, before he passed. He wished he would have kept that car. It would have been worth something. And then they showed the the motor oil can. And I guess, yeah, it was 1 quart of motor oil for 90 cents. And it was the Gulf brand, which was been considered the name brand back then. And also, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Start it right. Total 10 vitamins plus iron in whole wheat flakes. And he also had it in corn total. That was a cereal. That was when cereal started coming out back during that time when all the women started leaving home and started working. Everyone was looking for a quick meal. So you see, this stuff didn't just happen overnight. A calendar for 1973. I would have been born on a Thursday morning. This was interesting. Rainwater softness in the wash cycle. The wash cycle fabric softener from Johnson's works with your detergent. Rain Barrel wash cycle fabric softener. They're talking about using that good old rainwater. Isn't that something interesting? A lot of people are going back to that old ways, old things, using things that people used to use. This was in 73. It kind of got forgotten and got put on the back shelf and never was probably heard of again. But it says now you can have the softness and the freshness of rainwater, and you can have the convenience of using a fabric softener right at the start of your wash, because Rain Barrel works in a way no other fabric softener can. Its unique formula makes it compatible with detergents, so it's soft in the wash cycle, makes everything come out feeling rainwater soft, smelling rainwater fresh. It's that easy, it's that soft, it's Rain Barrel. So that was all from that little, the little Remember When, 1973. And this is It's Your Birthday, March the 22nd. And again, I'm not going to read through all of it because it's a lot in here, a lot of dates, a lot of people that were also born on my birthday, the same day as my birthday. Some names look familiar to me, some don't, so I'm just going to skip through to this one little spot. But I will say, because my son loves Louis L'Amour, he was the author. He is one of the most prophetic and popular authors in the U.S. history. Virtually all of his 101 books, most of them Western, have been bestsellers, including his first, I think it's Hondo, written in 1953, born in Jamestown, North Dakota. So I will read that one. My son's big on the Louis L'Amour books. Let's see if that was the one I wanted to read. Yes. The story on March. The month of March is one of change and contrast. Even the deity of the Romans' name, it's. Let me start over. I'm going to have to cut that out. The month of March is one of change and contrast. Even for whom the Romans' name is Mars. I want to say Mars. But both the god of the war and patron of agriculture. March has always had 31 days, but it hasn't always been the third month. In the early Roman civil calendar, March was the first month, and New Year's Day was celebrated on March 1st. This made sense since the month dedicated to Mars marked the beginning of the new season for planning and military oh my goodness, y'all. Military campaigning. My gosh, my brain is not right today. Campaigning. Military campaigning. In 153 BC, 2 new months were added to the calendar between December and the 10th and the last month of March. New Year's moved to January 1st, the first day of the new month. But old habits die hard, and people continue to celebrate the new year at the beginning of March. Julius Caesar tried again in 45 BC without much success. New Year's continues to flip back and forth between January and March for centuries. In England, Ireland, and the American colonies, New Year's was celebrated on March 25th until 1752. It is not for nothing that the old-timers said about your birthday month that it comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. In the northern hemisphere, its early days are wintry and blustery. As the days pass, a subtle change develops unto the vernal equinox occurs. This is the instant falling approximately on March the 21st, when the sun crosses the plane of the equator, making night and day of equal lengths. And it also marks the beginning of spring. There is plenty to celebrate in March in addition to your birthday. Nothing is more colorful than St. Patrick's Day on the 17th. St. Patrick, a Briton who studied was ordained in France, returned to Ireland in 4030 AD. Over the next 30 years until his death in 461, the Irish Celts was converted to Christianity. The legend St. Patrick single-handedly drove the snakes out of Ireland. St. Patrick's Day is a national holiday in Ireland and has been celebrated here for at least since 1737. In the year, a group of Irish gentlemen merchants met in Boston, Massachusetts to honor their old country's patriot saint. They founded a group called the Charitable Irish Society. Over the years, the festivals have come to include banquets and civic parades attending by public officials. Everyone sports some emerald green apparel or at least one shamrock. A green stripe is painted down the New York Fifth Avenue, marking the route of one of the country's biggest parades. March also includes some less spectacular observances as well. National Poison Prevention Week, the third week of the month, is followed by Doctor's Day on March 30th. National Nutrition Month coincides with the National Peanut Month, calling attention to this nutritious edible that is a pea and not a nut. Did y'all know that a peanut was not actually a nut, it's actually a pea. And it also belongs to the bean family. In the ancient Roman traditions, cultivation in honor in March with National Agricultural Day marked on the 21st. The first week of the month honors Volunteers of America. Girl Scouts Week follows in the second week of the month. Our animal friends are remembered during National Wildlife Week, the 3rd. March 15th once had a doubling anonymous sacrifice. On that day in 44 BC, Julius Caesar was assassinated. It was also at that time the deadline for Americans to file their personal income tax returns. The National Procrastination Week is observed during the first week of March. Has nothing to do with the fact that the deadline is for filing tax returns was moved forward 1 month, says Honest. One organization has declared March 21st Memorial Day, but no one remembers why. Sorry about that, y'all. I get so tongue-tied. So tongue-tied. Let me see if there was anything else in here that caught my attention that I thought would be of interest to anyone. For those that are also Aries, it tells you a little bit about the signs of the Aries, but I'm a child of God, so I know I'm God's child. It does have a lot to do with your personalities and your moods and all that, and it's not a satanic thing, it's actually a biblical thing. God gives us all the signs. Aries can be quite something else though. Very loving, very compassionate, but we're also not one to be crossed. Which y'all probably already know that about that. I don't really think there was anything else in here. There was a lot of other little things that they talk about. I think there might be one more little thing in the back. Let me see what it said that was interesting. It said that there are other ways to celebrate your birthday. Today is the first day, the first minute, and the second of the rest of your life. If you're tired of celebrating your birthday in terms of years, the following table will give you other options. So you could observe your birthday. It tells you, like, you can say, instead of saying today's my birthday, I can say that I am 51. I could say that I am 612 months old, or I can say I am 18,627 days old, or I can say I'm 447,048 hours old, and then it goes on to millions and so on and so forth in minutes and days. But even saying that I'm 612 months old, I think I'll stick with saying I'm 51 years old. Sounds a little more less offensive to me, you know. I mean, we know we're getting older. We made it to 50, now we're 51. But these were just some little books. I think you can still pretty much find them anywhere for the year that you were born. So I just wanted to share that with y'all today. And so today is my 51st birthday. So just a quick little simple video. It probably went a little longer than I expected, but I want to read y'all that one little part. Sorry I get so tongue-tied, but you know, nobody's perfect. I've already said that. I'm not here to be perfect, just here to share some interesting information and hope that it inspires someone and helps someone. That's my whole point. But I got some errands to run, and then I have some company coming over this evening. So I guess that will be it for today. Thank y'all for praying for me. I am still struggling, having problems. I won't be able to go to the doctor again until March the 27th and start with a new primary care doctor. And then from there, it's been suggested that I go see a specialist. So it's pretty much just a waiting game, and it's extremely hard for me to wait because it's spring. I want to work in my yard, and of course I am working in my yard whenever I can, but I'll work a little while and then I'll take a break and try not to overdo it, which is, yeah, That's kind of hard for me to do, because whenever I feel a burst of energy and feel like doing something, I'm probably going to try to knock myself out and get it all done as much as I can get done, as quick as I can get it done, and then of course I pay for it the next day or two, and my whole body hurts and it's worse. But I'm learning to take it slower and to pace myself better. But I am definitely a busybody, have always been a busybody. I like things to look nice, look good, be in order, be organized. So it's been a very trying time where the Lord has me just being more still. And it definitely teaches you to have a lot of patience when you have no other choice but to wait on the Lord. So just keep that in mind as you go out through your day. I hope everyone's having a beautiful spring-like day. It's a little bit rainy here today, but it's clearing up pretty good. It's probably actually going to get up into the 70s or a little higher today, but it's definitely spring here in the South. So thanks for joining me today. Thanks for all of you for visiting. Thanks for all of the support and all the friendly comments. So farewell, Homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.